10th today, it's Tuesday, 4 days post trigger shot and 3 days post IUI. So I went food shopping today just to do my regular food shop, and while I was there I'm like, do you know what, I'm going to buy a pregnancy test because I'm at the big supermarket, not just my little local corner shop, and they have more of a range. So I bought like my first proper pregnancy test, the clear blue. They had so many like clear blue ones, I didn't know which one to get, but in the end I went for this one, which does like the minus or positive sign for pregnant, not pregnant. There was one with a digital, but I felt like that might be jinxing things a bit, so I didn't get that one. They didn't have the first response, which is the brand I really wanted, so I was a bit gutted about that, but I'm going to have to order that on Amazon. But it felt really exciting to buy these in the shop for some reason, I don't know. So yeah, really pleased with that. And the other thing I did was last night I decided to buy some really, really cheap pregnancy tests. These are just the strict pregnancy tests. Oh my gosh, like everything's going on at the moment. Oh my gosh, seriously, like there's a plane that's just gone past and then they've got works going on in a house opposite me. So it's gonna be noisy, I'm sorry. The other thing I bought is some cheapy like HCG test strips because I decided when I first had the trigger shot, I was like, I'm not gonna test out the trigger, I don't wanna do that. I wanna have like the moment where I like take the positive test, blah, blah, blah.
Future editing Bryony here, just coming back to explain some of what I'm talking about in these clips because I've realised at the time that I filmed them I was so heavily in like the trying to conceive world that I was watching videos all the time where people were using this language, and it didn't occur to me that I probably needed to explain what on earth I was talking about. So first of all, the trigger shot, if you watched my last video I did talk a little bit about this. I had a trigger shot before my IUI to basically force me to ovulate. The hormone that is in that trigger shot is called HCG, which is also the pregnancy hormone that pregnancy tests test for. That's why any pregnancy test you take after you have a trigger shot are going to show up positive because you've basically pumped your system full of HCG. Now, when I'm talking in this video about testing out the trigger, what that is a process that some people choose to do where they take a pregnancy test every day from the time they've had their trigger shot and watch the HCG gradually decrease in their system so that pregnancy line on a pregnancy test gets fainter and fainter and fainter, and hopefully about 10 to 11 days after you've had that trigger shot you start to see it get darker and darker again, and that means you're pregnant because the pregnancy hormones are kicking in from an actual pregnancy and not the trigger shot. However, if you then see that line get fainter and fainter and fainter and then it completely vanishes entirely, that means that you're not pregnant and it was just the trigger shot that was showing up. I did a very poor job of explaining that in this video, so I just wanted to cover that so you're clear what I'm talking about. And why I took a pregnancy test so early was because I originally wasn't going to test out the trigger, and then I changed my mind and decided actually I am going to do that, and that's where this video starts.
But then I was like, well, if I take a pregnancy test at like 10 days post IUI and it's very faintly positive, I'm going to be thinking like, is it the trigger or am I actually pregnant? So I thought, well, I'll buy these and I will test out the trigger. These cost like $4.99 or something. And I've just taken one now at 4 days post trigger, and it is positive, but it's already faded so much. Like you can see the second line there, but it's really, really faint already. So I feel pretty confident that that's going to keep decreasing. So hopefully by 6 days post trigger shot, this should be gone. I feel like once this has been negative for a few days, I'll feel more confident about taking the clear blue and the first response, which is more sensitive pregnancy tests. And if they have a positive, I'll feel like it's, you know, not the trigger shot. So I'm actually really pleased I did go ahead and get these because I feel a bit more reassured now. But yeah, so the trigger's already fading and hopefully it will continue to do so over the next 2 days. It is Saturday the 14th of May, so it's exactly 1 week since I had my IUI, and oh my goodness, this 2-week wait is killing me. Nobody tells you how slowly this week goes. I mean, thank goodness I'm fostering because at least I have things happening in the day and, you know, can't just sit around waiting and doing nothing. It has definitely helped a bit. But every single day you're thinking about it and asking yourself, what if I'm pregnant? What if it's implanting now? What if it's doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And it's just so stressful. So I have still been testing with the cheapy pregnancy test. I tested this morning, and as it happened, my urine this morning was really concentrated, so it was very strong. I did still get a faint line on that HCG test, the pregnancy test. It definitely is getting fainter though, which is good. I was hoping it would be like stark white by today because I really want to do my first like proper pregnancy test on Tuesday, which is when I'll be 10 days post IUI and 11 days post trigger shot, because I feel like I might start to see a positive test then if I am pregnant. But because it was still showing up positive today, I'm going to keep testing tomorrow and Monday and see when it gets to like completely blank. So there's still trigger in my system, basically, unless that is pregnancy, but I highly doubt that at this point. So that's a little bit annoying. I wanted to do it on Tuesday because my smalls have contacts on Tuesday, so I'll be able to like have the place to myself in the morning and, you know, actually do that test without having to juggle them. Otherwise, I'd have to wait till Thursday, which is the day before my official test day, where I go and have my blood test done on Friday. So in 6 days' time, I would officially know one way or the other whether I'm pregnant or not. And I have to be honest, like, it's so hard to like keep my hopes, you know, suppressed, because I'm trying to be realistic about it and being like, no, Bryony, this is the first time you're doing this. It only has a 15 to 20% chance of working the first time. Blah 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 blah. You know all the drill, but you get excited when you do this because, you know, it's just. You go through this because you really want to get pregnant, so of course you can't help being excited. And it has been nice to know, like, since I did it, because I was so nervous the day of the IUI, there was a bit of me thinking, oh my god, what am I doing? Do I really want this? Oh my goodness, since that's done and the procedure's gone and it wasn't painful and I've been waiting, I've just felt pure like excitement and like really wanting it to be positive. So that's been really nice to feel. I think it just kind of validates the fact that throughout this journey, there are going to be moments, even if you're really sure you want it, that you are going to doubt yourself and think maybe not. But yeah, currently trying not to go too crazy. Yesterday and the night before, I needed to pee like constantly. I think I got up like 4 or 5 times a night to go to the toilet, and throughout the day needed to pee constantly. And of course, frequent urination is like a really early pregnancy symptom. So I kind of wish I hadn't had that. I haven't been as bad today actually, and I didn't need to get up in the night last night as much either. But like, of course, when that happened, my brain's going, oh, maybe this is a sign. And I kind of wish I had nothing, so I wasn't getting my hopes up. But yeah, utterly failing to do that. So I think I'll just have to accept what comes. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, we can try again next month. Good morning. Well, it is Sunday the 15th of May and I have finally caved. So yesterday it was really difficult and I was just thinking like, what if and everything, and I decided I'm just going to go start testing tomorrow. So I went to the chemist and I bought an extra pack of the first responses. This is how many pregnancy tests I currently have. It's a bit ridiculous, but whatever. So I was watching some videos. I'm going to get started. I'm watching some videos on YouTube, and for some people who had IUIs or a trigger shot for treatment, they never fully tested out the trigger. It kind of faded and then came back. So I decided actually waiting for it to go completely blank, it might not happen for me. So I'm going to test with one of those cheapies again. So I did some looking into it last night. So there's HCG. I had these really cheapy ones. These are 25, I think it's MIU sensitivity. It's the unit basically, which is a lower sensitivity. And I thought clear blue would have a better sensitivity, but these are 25 as well, which is the same as the cheapies. So they do have, I didn't get it, I got this one, which is the rapid results, I think rapid detection. I should have got the ultra early, which would have been 10 MIU, which is a more sensitive one. But first response is the most sensitive, it's 6.3. So basically the lower the number, the more sensitive it is. Also, I realised because I wasn't getting a completely negative test yesterday with these little cheapies, even if I waited till Tuesday, I still wouldn't trust it if I got a line. So I'd rather start now and it either be completely negative or very faint, and then watch it hopefully get darker or it fades away completely and then I know it hasn't worked. But rather than kind of starting from cycle day 10. So here we go. Okay, I gave them 5 minutes just to make sure it processed properly. So here is the cheapie. You won't be able to see it, I don't think, on camera. There is the faintest line on the test, but pretty much negative. So today at 8 days past IUI, and I'm pretty sure 8 days past ovulation as well, it's really the earliest it could possibly show up as a positive, and it would be very, very faint. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it up to you first, and I'm not going to look. So I'm going to turn the test over so I can't see the result. Hold up my hand. Okay, I'm going to bring it up and then look away. So hopefully you can see that. Okay, right, we have a little look. There's definitely a second line. It's really, really faint, but it's there. Oh my gosh. Oh, I really hope this isn't the trigger. So, did you see it? I hope you saw it, like, it's so faint, but it's there. It's actually stronger than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be really, really faint, but like I can easily see it. So now basically I need to see if this gets darker over the next few days or if it goes away. Because if it goes away, it's just the trigger. If it gets darker, that means I'm pregnant. Good morning. It is 9 days past IUI, 10 days past trigger. It's also 6 a.m. in the morning, so hence the reason I am a bit knackered looking. I'm so tired. So today we are going to do another cheapie, another first response, and also today I'm going to do a clear blue. I managed to get hold of, I bought the pack yesterday of, there's one digital and two of the ultra early clear blue test, which is the one I think I originally should have bought than the other tests. So I figured I was in town, I might as well get a pack of them because I'm clearly becoming a pure stick addict. So because obviously after I got that positive test on the first response yesterday, I spent all day like trying to look up like how early people got positives after IUI, like when the triggers came out, etc. And I think there's a very good chance that yesterday's test could have been the trigger, so this one is really going to be quite key today. HCG takes 48 hours to double, so if this is lighter, I think I can be pretty confident that yesterday's was the trigger. If it's the same, not too sure because it takes longer to double. If it's darker, then I think that's a positive sign. So today's actually kind of like a bigger day than yesterday in some ways for this testing. So I will now wait 5 minutes and then I'll be back. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I'm really nervous this time, I think because, yeah, it's still early, like 9 days past IUI, it's still early to pick up a test, it's still very early, 10 days past trigger, it could still be picking up, but I think it's time it would really be working out on my system, so let's see. I'll start with the cheapest one. There's like a faint hint of a line. Shadow, it's still not like fully negative, you'll never be able to see it on camera, like that looks really negative, I'm sure, but there's like the faintest hint of a line, so that's interesting. I'll do the clear blue next, I haven't done one of these before. It's definitely a line. It's faint, I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick it up. Can you see that? Very, very faint, but it's there. Okay, now first response I will try and show to you before I look at it. Oh, hang on. I might just take it out of the packaging facing down and then do this, okay. I'm looking away. Hopefully that's focusing. Okay. There's still a line, but it's fainter than yesterday. I think that was the trigger yesterday that this was picking up on. I mean, there's very definitely a line there, but it's just very faint. Well, like I said before, it is still very, very early. 9 days, if I hadn't had the trigger, 9 days past ovulation would be like really, really early still to test. Lots of people don't get positives then. So I think I won't really rule myself out of this cycle until 11 days past IUI and 12 days past trigger, because I feel at that point I'd be pretty confident that any positive was not the trigger. But not out of the running yet. There's still a good chance I could be in this, but yeah, they've all got lines. I mean, that, as I said, the cheapie's very, very faint, but the first response has a line and the clear blue both have lines. So I guess we will see what happens over the next few days. Good morning, everyone. It is 10 days past IUI, 11 days past trigger. I've got a really sore throat this morning. I'm going to take 3 tests this morning. I'm going to do one of the really cheap HCG pregnancy tests that I've done like since 4 days past trigger. I'm going to do a first response. I'm not going to do a clear blue today. I'm going to save the other ultra early I have tomorrow. But I am going to do an easy at home. I ordered some of these yesterday because, as we've already established, I have a pure stick addiction. Right, that's all done. Now I've got to wait 5 minutes. Honestly, not feeling as hopeful today. This was originally the day I wanted to start testing. 10 days past IUI, it's still really early. 11 days past trigger, I guess they could still be picking something up, but I'm not going to count myself out until we get to 12 days past IUI and 13 days past trigger, because I feel like on that day, if I've still got HCG, if these tests are picking up something, then that's more likely to be pregnancy. But at this point, it still could be trigger. I don't know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the tests are like, whether they're getting lighter or whether they are the same or whether they're getting darker. So, back in a few minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. This is honestly the most nervous that I've been for any of the tests, so let's get over with. I'm going to start with the GP first. So there are two GPs. There's the one that I've been done since the 4 days past trigger. That is a sensitivity of 25. The Easy at Home is sensitivity of 10. So that's why I bought the Easy at Homes. Let's do the Ultra GP. I think there's still like a really faint line on this one. But I'd say pretty much negative. Like I can see something, but it's very, very faint. Okay, there's that one. Let's do the Easy at Home. Again, really, really faint line. Practically negative, I'd say. Okay, but I can see something. Right, let's do first response. There's still a line there, but it is really faint. I don't think it's any more faint than yesterday. I don't think you'll be able to see. It's really, really faint, but it's there. Like I'm definitely not imagining it. Let me see if I can get it to focus. It is extremely faint. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There is a really, really faint line on this first response, and it is only 10 days past IUI, so, and 11 days past trigger. So it's possible that this is the start of my HCG from actual pregnancy coming in, or this could be the very, very last trace of the trigger. But I'm really pleased I did start taking these tests on Sunday, because I think if I'd seen this today, I'd been like, oh, maybe that's pregnancy, but I think now I'm thinking more like, I think this is fading trigger. So I guess we're just gonna have to see what happens. I think truly it's more important what happens tomorrow and the day after, because I think if like it goes completely negative tomorrow and on Thursday, because it's Tuesday today, then I'll know it hasn't worked. And this was only the first IUI I did, but there is still a line, so I'm not out of the running yet. So I feel like I'm driving myself slightly insane right now. It's still 10 days past IUI, 12 days past trigger. So this morning I took the test and I was feeling really, really down about it, if I'm honest. Like, feeling like, oh, this cycle's a wash and everything. And I still feel a bit like that. And I'm trying to like remind myself, you know, there was always a low chance it was going to work the first time. But I think you always have that hope, particularly the first time you do it. It's like really exciting. So I was feeling really down, and I did that thing that all piano stick addicts, which is a term I've become aware of, do, which is I went back to the bit in my bathroom and I fished out some of the tests. The first response is really, really faint, like it's definitely paler than yesterday. And it's still a very, very faint line on it, but it's paler than it was, so that was making me feel really sad. But then I dug out the Easy at Home test that I did this morning, and it had dried much darker than it was when it was wet. Now, you're not supposed to really take them into account when they are dry. However, I still had the test from yesterday. So when I ordered the Easy at Home tests yesterday, they came in the afternoon. So I didn't take one first morning urine, but I did take one. So I was able to find that one as well and compare them. And when I started on this journey and like pregnancy testing and everything, I was like, I'm not going to become one of those people who's really obsessive about it and like sticks the little tests in a book and everything. I'm just going to test and see what happens and like that. Well, folks, here we are. So yeah, and I
dug out the one from this morning and I compared it to one I took yesterday. Like I said, not first morning urine, but still one I took yesterday. And it is definitely darker. I have absolutely no idea if this camera is going to pick it up. But there is the faintest line here, and this one looks pretty much negative, but there's a faint line here. Please excuse the fluff that I somehow caught on this sticky bit here, but that looks darker to me. So this has actually given me a little bit of encouragement because, as I said, it's 11 days past trigger now, and I think the dose that I had for my trigger shot was it was a 250 of and I think that equates around 6,500 units of HCG from what I've read online. And that should be out of your system around 10 days past trigger. So to be on 11 days past trigger and still picking up HCG to a point where I can actually see it quite easily on this test, it's given me a bit of renewed hope actually. So I'm gonna try my best not to test this afternoon because I think it'll just drive me mad if I do, and I've got to wait for tomorrow. But I do think tomorrow will now be like D-Day essentially. If this goes completely negative, or if it's even fainter, then I think I can confidently say this cycle hasn't worked. And I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for that. But if it does get darker, then I think we can say that it's been successful, because this is the first time I've seen a previous day test be lighter than the next day. So, I just don't know what to think. It's just such an emotional roller coaster. So, just having to deal with that and everything is really tricky. I'm finding it's harder than I thought it was going to be.
Well, here we are. It's 11 days past IUI, 12 days past trigger. So I think I'm just going to do it. I feel so nervous today. I've got the GP that I've used for testing out the trigger, the Easy at Home GP, a first response, and a clear boot ultra early. I figured either today will let us know that this cycle hasn't worked because the line is completely gone, or hopefully it's getting dark, or maybe it's still there. We'll see. I spent a lot of yesterday torturing myself by looking at the tests again and again, just to be like, can I see a line? Is it getting darker? Is it dry? It's just, you can drive yourself mad. Okay, so they've all been done. Now I'm gonna wait 5 minutes and then I'll be back. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Oh my God, right. It's okay. I'm gonna start with a really cheapy one. I don't see anything on that, I don't think. Nope. Let's go to the Easy at Home. Again, a very faint line, but I'd almost just say no to that, to be honest. Okay, let's do clear blue. Oh, there is a faint line. That's definitely a line. It's faint, but it's there. Do you see it? Okay, I've heard that clear blues give really bad false positives, so we'll see on this one. But it's 12 days past trigger now. Right, here we go, first response. There's still a faint line. Oh my God, but is it as faint or darker than yesterday? I feel like it's the same as yesterday though. Definitely a line. Really, really faint, but definitely still a line. I highly doubt you're going to be able to see it. Can you see it there? I'm pretty sure it has colour to it as well. Oh man, I really thought today was going to be like more definitive and be like, okay, either it's the dye's completely gone or it's darker. But all these tests have, well, the clear blue and the first response both still have a line. It's very faint, but it's visible. Do you know what? I'm really tempted to take the digital to see, will that pick it up? And if it does, and this line fades over the next few days, whether that was still the trigger, because I'm trying to tell myself, you know, if this cycle doesn't work, at least then I'll know how long it takes for the trigger to go completely out my system. Oh, you're kidding me. This is just... I can definitely see it more easily on the clear blue. Do you know what the heck? I'm going to take the digital. So this is the digital that came in the pack with the 2 ultra early clear blues. It also has the weeks indicator. Okay, 3 minutes is up, so I hope that it's done. I'm not going to look, I'm going to turn it over and then hold my hand up and then show you guys first. Hopefully I've got this up the right way. Okay, it's still really, really early. Yeah. Not pregnant. Good morning again. It is 12 days past IUI, 13 days past trigger, and to be honest, I was thinking I might not even bother doing the test this morning because I'm pretty confident it's going to be negative. However, last night, or yesterday, kind of afternoon, evening, my boobs started to hurt a little bit on the sides, which is kind of unusual for me. It's not really bad, like it's just a little bit here. I don't typically tend to get breast pain when I get my period, although I think sometimes I get a little bit of it, so I wouldn't put this down as a pregnancy symptom at all. But I thought, given that I have had this, I'll just take them just so I'm not thinking about it the whole day, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be negative. So I'm going to take the last of my super cheapies, an easy at home, don't think I'll show anything, and a first response. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, so let's start with the cheapest one, which I'm pretty sure will be completely negative. Yep, absolutely nothing, as I expected. This one's it's like the least sensitive of all these tests, so that is what I thought it would be. Then there's the easy at home one, which is also completely negative. Again, as I expected. No second line whatsoever. And then first response, which I suspect will also be completely negative. Yep. Not even a hint of it. Oh, I hate these. They tend to give you a really bad evaporation line, these ones, I think. But no, I'm confident that is now completely negative, which is pretty much what I was expecting. So I think we can pretty confidently say that this cycle of IUI didn't work, which is fine, it's the first one. So I will have my blood test done tomorrow, which I'm pretty sure will confirm what I already suspected. I guess this is just maybe my period coming. I think because I ovulated so early, I'm not really sure my period would next be due, because normally if I have ovulate around the 14th day, I have a 28-day cycle. So I guess it could be due any time from sort of Sunday. But given that I ovulated so early and they gave me drugs to stimulate it early, who knows really, it could be any time probably from Saturday. So I guess we will see, but I don't think I'm going to bother to test tomorrow morning. I think I'm just going to have my blood test done because it's already quite early, the blood test is happening. So I'll find out in the afternoon tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, what the result is. And like I've said, these are so negative that I'm like, if there was anything in my blood, I'm sure I'd be picking something up by now. So yeah. Good morning again. It is 13 days past IUI, 14 days past trigger, and I think about 12 days past ovulation, just based off of the fact that I am pretty sure I ovulated very, very late in the evening on the day I had my IUI, so it hasn't been long. It will be 13 days past ovulation this evening, but 12 at the moment. I'm feeling very confused is the honest answer, because my boobs have been really hurt. Like this morning I woke up, they were really sore and they felt like they might be a bit swollen. That's not a typical period symptom for me. I think I do get it occasionally, so it's not ruled out. This is not just my period coming. And I woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning with cramping that was strong enough to wake me up. And I came to the toilet thinking, oh, maybe my period's starting early, because I've no idea when it's really starting. I think it's due on Sunday based off of when I ovulated and it being 14 days after that, but who knows. But I went to the toilet, wiped, there was nothing, no blood, nothing, and then it went away. So this breast pain started about the evening before yesterday, so it's kind of just over 24 hours since I had it. I had my blood test later this morning, so I'm kind of relieved about that. I just want to know now. I'm pretty sure I'm not, sorry for me, my little one, pretty sure I'm not pregnant. I think this is just symptoms of cycle starting up or what have you, but gonna take 2 tests today, an easy at home because I have a load of these, and my last first response because why not? Okay, it's been slightly longer than 5 minutes because another small workout. I want to keep my voice down, but let's go ahead and have a look. I'm gonna do the GP first, and as expected, that is completely negative. There you go. Nothing. I can see that I could probably drive myself mad saying I see a shadow, but I'm not going to do that. Right, and the first response, which I'm sure will be negative. Yeah, pretty sure I can say that is completely negative. Yeah, I can't see anything on this one, so as I expected, I am pretty sure the blood test today is going to confirm that this cycle hasn't worked, in which case this weird boob pain is going to be period related, so maybe my period's going to start earlier than I think. But yeah, I guess we will see, so I will update you after that. So I had my blood test done just before 10 this morning, and I think I was the last round of bloods they got done before they were collected, so I will get the results, well, I should get the results this afternoon. It's nearly 3 o'clock now. Still haven't heard anything, and yeah, I mean, I'm like so confident that they're going to say it's negative. Like, I feel really sure it is negative, but it's just waiting for that phone call to confirm it, and then being able to be like, okay, now I can move on. But yeah, I'm just sitting here fidgeting a bit because I just really want to confirm it. So it's 4:15 now. I just heard back from the clinic, and yeah, as I expected, it's negative. So they've told me I need to contact my patient coordinator to know next steps, which I'm hoping means I can go ahead with my next cycle. The current dilemma I have right now is that I only have one more round of sperm from the, sorry, that's just my mum, I just messaged her to let her know. I only have one more round of sperm from the donor that I used this time, and if next cycle doesn't work, the issue I have is that unless I buy some more sperm and have it sent to the clinic, I won't be able to go straight into another round after that time, because the clinic has to have the sperm with them before they'll start your next treatment round, and your treatment starts from day 1 of your period. So by the time you find out whether or not you're pregnant, you're pretty much about to start your period, so it's too late to have sperm imported from the clinic, the sperm bank that I used. But I went on yesterday and actually, because I was pretty sure it was going to be negative, I went on yesterday and checked with the sperm bank whether I just have a look at some other donors, and it turns out the other donor that I picked, I had 2 kind of favourites that I chose. The other donor, who was down to 1 vial the last time I checked, now has 15. So I was saying to my mum, I think I'm going to go ahead and purchase either 2 or 3 vials of his sperm and keep 1 or 2 at the sperm bank and just ship 1 over. And then each time, if my next cycle fails and I move on to him, then I'll ship another 1 over, etc. The only downside of that is it costs like £250 to ship it each time, because obviously it has to be like shipped in dry ice because it's frozen sperm. It's like really complex how they do it. But if I keep the sperm at the sperm bank, if I end up not needing it, I can get a 75% refund on the cost. And given that it's like £1,000 a vial, it seems like it would be worth it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but I've got to kind of like, I'm pretty sure I don't want to go into the next, because it takes on average about 3 rounds of IUIs to work. There's still a really good chance the second round won't work either. So yeah, just need to think about the logistics of all that. But I know, yeah, I'm feeling sad, I think I was kind of excited, and I think there's also that I knew realistically it was unlikely to work the first time. I only had a 20% chance, but you're still sad nonetheless when you get that negative. So yeah, I think, but I am actually quite glad I did tests throughout the month, because I knew going into this, I had a pretty good idea that this is what was going to happen. So yeah, I think that's just kind of helped me adjust to it. So feeling a bit sad, but I can have a hot bath tonight, which I'm really looking forward to. I think between now and when I have my next IUI, I'm gonna do as many things that I can't do pregnant as possible, like eat like prosciutto, raw meat, that kind of stuff. There isn't really other things that I can't eat as pregnant that I like, but like prosciutto and steak tartare and carpaccio, they're my things I do quite like every now and then. And having a really hot bath, because I know I don't need to worry about like damaging an embryo or anything. So yeah, sad, but the journey continues.